Welcome to the deep dive. So today we're tackling a really interesting question, actually. It's sparked by the significant move in the Bitcoin world, a pretty substantial purchase by a Japanese investment firm, Metaplanet.
Ah, Metaplanet, right.
We've got this detailed report from Cointelegraph, and, well, our goal here is to get past the headlines, try and understand what this purchase might tell us about, Metaplanet's thinking and maybe the bigger picture for institutional Bitcoin adoption.
Good plan. And it was a big buy, wasn't it?
Huge. 1,004 Bitcoin in just one go.
Wow.
And get this, it's apparently their second largest single purchase ever. So, yeah, what's driving that kind of conviction?
Exactly. That's not just testing the waters, is it? That's a significant commitment.
Sure.
When you see a purchase that size, it makes you wonder about the strategy behind it.
Right. Like, are they seeing a specific opportunity right now?
Or is it more about a long-term belief in Bitcoin as, a core asset? Let's dig into the details of this specific buy.
Okay, let's do it. So, Cointelegraph says this happened on May 19th.
May 19th, got it.
They snapped up those 1,004 Bitcoin for about 15.2 billion Japanese yen.
Okay, 15.2 billion yen. And in U.S. dollars.
That works out to roughly $104.6 million.
Oof. Yeah, that's a serious amount of capital for one day.
It really is.
And that purchase pushes their total Bitcoin holdings up quite a bit, right?
It does. They're now sitting on 7,800 Bitcoin total.
7,800 BTC. And the value of that today?
The article puts it at around $807 million.
Right. $807 million. That's a substantial digital asset portfolio.
It absolutely is. But like we said, this wasn't their biggest buy, was it? Seems like part of a pattern.
Correct. This 1,004 BTC buy is big, but yeah, not their record.
So what was the biggest?
Just a week before, actually May 12th, they bought 12,241 Bitcoin.
Even more. Wow.
Yeah, for about $129 million.
Whoa.
But here's where it gets really interesting.
Oh.
That purchase, the one on May 12th, it actually pushed Metaplanet's Bitcoin holdings above those of El Salvador.
Ahead of El Salvador. The country.
A country itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what does that tell you? A public company holding more Bitcoin than a nation that made it legal tender?
That's quite a statement. Really underscores their position, doesn't it?
Yep.
Especially in Asia.
Precisely. Metaplanet is now the public company with the largest Bitcoin stash in Asia, period.
Okay. And globally, where do they stack up?
Globally, they're now ranked 10th largest among public firms holding Bitcoin. That's according to BitTBO data.
Yeah.
The platform tracking this stuff.
10th largest globally. That's pretty significant for a company maybe not everyone's heard of.
Definitely puts them on the map.
And they've certainly been active recently. The Cointelegraph piece really highlights this sort of aggressive buying streak.
It does, yeah. Just looking at May so far, they've scooped up 2,800 Bitcoin.
2,800 in less than a month.
Correct. And it's not just May. It's been consistent. April saw 4 purchases, adding up to 794 Bitcoin.
Okay.
And March was even busier. 6 different buys, totaling 1,655 Bitcoin.
Wow. So this isn't impulsive. It really looks like a deliberate, ongoing strategy.
That's how it appears, yes. Very methodical.
So any idea what's fueling this? Is their Bitcoin bet actually, working out for them?
Well, the article gives some interesting performance numbers. For Q1, they reported a Bitcoin yield of 95.6%.
95.6%. That sounds high.
It's remarkable. And for Q2, so far, it's still a very strong 47.8%.
How are they calculating that yield exactly?
It's the ratio of the percentage change in their Bitcoin holdings measured against their fully diluted shares.
Okay, so it reflects the impact on shareholders.
Exactly. And those kinds of numbers suggest their strategy is, positively impacting their financials. So maybe that success is just encouraging them to keep buying.
Yeah, you can see why those figures might make them want to double down, and it sounds like they might be eyeing the next rung on that corporate ladder, too.
That's right. The report points out if Metaplanet buys just another 301 Bitcoin, they'd actually overtake Galaxy Digital Holdings. Galaxy is currently 9th with 8,100 Bitcoin.
So they're really close to cracking that next level.
Very close. Almost knocking on the door of let's say, the top tier of corporate holders.
Okay, so Metaplanet's definitely a serious player now, but, let's be real, there's still a huge gap to the absolute top dog, isn't there?
Oh, absolutely, no question. Michael Saylor's MicroStrategy is just dominant.
What are their numbers again? It's kind of staggering.
It is. They hold 568,840 Bitcoin.
Wow.
Worth somewhere around $59 billion.
$59 billion. Okay.
And that River Research mentioned in the article, It found MicroStrategy was responsible for 77% of the entire growth in corporate Bitcoin holdings this year.
77%. Just one company.
Just MicroStrategy. They're really in a completely different league when it comes to using Bitcoin as a treasury asset.
That really puts it in perspective. And speaking of Saylor, sounds like he's not done buying either.
Well, he often signals things, doesn't he? Recently posted a screenshot on X of a tracker showing MicroStrategy's Bitcoin pile, and he added that, quote, "Never short a man who buys orange ink by the barrel."
Ha. Classic Saylor. Very subtle.
Not exactly subtle, no.
Yeah.
But it definitely projects that unwavering confidence, suggesting, more buying is probably coming.
It adds to this whole narrative, right, of companies getting serious about Bitcoin, and it seems MicroStrategy isn't alone in adding more this year.
Exactly. And this is maybe one of the most interesting bits from that River research we mentioned.
What's that?
They found that corporations and businesses, as a group, have been the largest net buyers of Bitcoin so far this year.
Wait, larger than the ETFs?
Larger than the ETFs, larger than governments, larger than retail investors.
Wow. Okay, that's actually surprising.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Kind of reframes who's driving the demand right now. Metaplanet's buying fits right into that bigger trend.
So they're not some outlier. They're actually representative of this broader corporate move. That's a really important statistic. Suggests maybe a deeper conviction than many realized.
I think so. And just to underline Metaplanet's own commitment, the article also mentions a report that they're raising another $21 million.
For what?
Through bonds, specifically earmarked to buy more Bitcoin.
Okay, so they're actively funding future purchases. The strategy continues.
Seems very clear, yes. No sign of slowing down.
So wrapping this up then, Metaplanet's big buy isn't just a random event.
Not at all. It's a key data point.
We've got this Japanese firm making its second largest Bitcoin purchase ever.
Right, part of a really consistent, aggressive accumulation strategy.
Making them the biggest corporate holder in Asia, top 10 globally.
And crucially, it reflects this wider trend.
The trend of corporations collectively being the biggest net buyers of Bitcoin this year, more than anyone else.
Precisely. That's maybe the biggest takeaway here.
That point really does stand out. So as we finish this deep dive, it leaves a pretty big question for you listening, doesn't it? Given this clear, growing institutional interest, with corporations really stepping up, what do you think the long-term effects might be? On Bitcoin's price, its stability.
Yeah, how does this shift things?
And maybe how does this change or challenge your own view on Bitcoin's place in the financial world going forward? Definitely something to think about.